Hello everybody, Lockborn here, and today we're gonna do something different that we've done so far. As you can see, I am not actually on Lockborn today. The reason for this is because I was gonna do a concise guide of how to do everything on a Warden starting from level 1, but I looked around and I actually saw some very nice guides that have been recently posted by the Warden community on the forums, so I didn't really feel like there was the need to make another long and in-depth detailed guide since people have already started covering most of the basics and actually agree with a lot of the things they say. So yeah, this is my new warden. We're currently on the Evernight server. I um, I recently relocated here because while there are a lot of people that actually do enjoy playing with on Arkenstone, the 2 a.m. raids kind of mess up your sleeping schedule, and that's not very healthy. Going to bed every day at 6 in the morning and sleeping until the afternoon. So I came here, I did some research, I talked to some people, and I found a couple of good kins that actually do raid on this server and that do it regularly in my own time zone. And at the time, that's actually quite convenient for me. So this is Timwig. Now, what I want to do with this tune is I want to show you the road to getting raid ready. Now, I'm not gonna show you the road to raid ready from level 1. I'm gonna do these short. Well, I don't think this one will be short, but I'll do short videos um, regarding updates on my character. What have I done? What was changed since the last video? How am I getting? How am I progressing there? And hopefully it'll actually help alongside the guys the other fellow wardens have been posting on forums and on YouTube for newbie wardens or even experienced wardens to maybe rethink their build or maybe do something differently with their next tune. So without further ado, let's see how and what I have done so far. As you can see, my gear is quite poor at the moment. I moved here. I actually had a friend of mine from Arkenstone purchase me a BOV on this server, so I can actually start getting ready for level 105 rage ready right away. I've done a lot of the class deeds so far. I mean, this is my first warden ever. So when I purchased the class, this is the first warden I ever made. It's a man. I didn't really have any reasoning behind making it a man back then, but now I'm quite glad that I did. As you can see, the race traits that men get are, in my mind, outweighing every other class's ones. We get nice block parry and evade from Balance of Men. We have the duty bound, plus 5% morale for your fellowship. I think it's quite important for the raids, and it can be a nice bonus. And also, while leveling, you can use strength of morale to fill yourself up. Sadly, this skill hasn't been scaled in ages, so it's not that potent at level 100, but it's quite nice while leveling. Um, I have not gotten many trade points. You can see I have 58. I've skipped Helm's Deep. I will leave that for once I get level 105 gear, so I can actually kill the mobs a lot faster since they're on steeds, and chasing them around with low mastery is not something I'm looking forward to doing. Um, the virtues, I had done the starting areas: Shire, Bree, Eriluin, Lonelands, even them parts of Misty Mountains and Angmar before BOV'd. So my virtues are not that low, but I got the plus 4 bonus to every single virtue from the Blessing of Valar. So that really is gonna cut on doing some very annoying deeds, such as, I don't know, Merval Slayer and Moria for the getting capstone on innocence, doing some certain quest areas which don't really give you any other rewards besides the virtues. Don't get me wrong, I like doing the quests, but after getting my, this is I think 13th alt to 105, you kinda get tired of doing such things. Um, the gear is all crafted at the moment. I I had some gold lingering about in the server before I left over for Brandywine, so I collected it on the else. I also sold a lot of things to get some starting money. Some nice people crafted me gear. As you can see, Timmy's armor. It's completely empty at the moment. I will actually use some essences to fill it up. Basically, what I want to do is I want to get starting gear good enough to actually be accepted into DOS SS runs, so I can get the Morgul crests and the drops from the Pelennor set. I want to get 4 set Pelennor if I can, with 2 set for tanking from DOS. Actually, shoulders from DOS and gloves from Ruined City, and that will get me started and actually be able to raid on this tune. Uh, I've made some investments when it comes to essences. I really prefer the Supreme Tier 7s. The new raid does not actually have any critical defense requirements because most hits are distributed. So the high hits are distributed. So their critical defense is I believe redundant. So I have critical defense at the moment because of my cape and my shield. Um, I invested into Supreme tactical and physical mitigation because I like the double mid gain from it. Uh, I usually put all of my physicals and 1 tactical into an earring, and I put all of my tactical into a bracelet, and therefore I can make swappies with morale or masteries for DPS or certain boss fights. Cap for physical mitigation, I believe it's 23.5, So once I get my virtues a little bit higher and you can use scrolls, I'll be reaching the tier 2 cap. Tactical is the same, just my tactical is significantly lower because I'm in the process of collecting more tactical mitigations and getting tolerance up from the virtues. Um, I got some nice people crafted me a sword actually so far. That's the only ally I have. I will be making a tanking ally first. I want to make sure that because when you're a tank, you can actually get by with gear from earlier regions, such as the Lamrith, as long as you have a nice chunk of morale, have your mids capped, you're basically good to go. And so I'll be going for a tanking build first. I still need to find somebody to craft me a javelin, something that I do not have. I got to 95 with a BOV. I did a couple of work pans, and a friend helped me out with sword holes, mainly because this is my first level 100 on Evernight, so I wanted to make sure I can start doing the daily instances as soon as possible. Maybe get the jewelry, get the long lost coins from there, and I can work towards my actual tier 2 challenge build. And we're back. I had some time to tinker with my gear. I'm sitting at 43.5 thousand unbuffed. My mitigations are slightly lower than the tier 2 expectations. It's about 700, 800 lower. I'm gonna get that once I get my virtues a little bit higher later in the day. Gotta get that zeal up, innocence, and tolerance. Quite important. So I am using 3 incoming healing essences at the moment. I also lack the incoming healing from the True Setting of the North on my javelin, which I already have on my sword. Still have a lot of work to do. I'm low on marks, so I cannot finish my relics as good as I would like at the moment. So that's kind of a drawback. But I'll do some work. I need one now. I have the gear. I have slotted full major morales on me. I traded them for small amount of gold for somebody to barter them off the skirmish camp for me. As you can see. And I got the last piece of Supremes that I need for mitigation wise. That is the last tactical mitigation on this bracelet that I lacked. So these two pieces and their essences are gonna remain unchanged until basically the whole gear is done and I get extra raid jewelry. Mainly because there is little to no point in changing them for DOS since they're for tanking anyway. Unless I make a build for DPS, which will have its own bracelets. Let's look at my allies now. Disregard the fact that I do not have any relics yet. I opted for light damage, surety, gambit life type, and spear gambit parry rating. I'm lacking the persevere block rating on this sword. I will get a crystal later down in the epics in Eastern Gondor, so I will replace that with. I'll replace that empty slot with that. For my javelin, it's not yet imbued, but it's pretty much done. Once I get a spare crystal, I will add a might legacy on it. I use, so you can see my gear, I use no BPE essences on my gear, apart from what I have on the shield, but that will get replaced as well. I will need to do some Half Valandil or Dungeons of Dol Guldur to get the finesse shield that I want. I did not use any BPE essences, and the reason is simple. Warden's skill set is so good, and our legacies in that regard are so good that we can basically get capped on BPE without using a single essence. And what I mean by that is, as you can see on the Spear Gambit parry rating, this applies to the Wall of Steel parry rating that you already get from Wall of Steel. So Wall of Steel right now is 2,600, and once you get 6,300 on top of that, it will have me way high over the cap and almost at the cap of partial avoidances. This tune is actually using crafted gear, so it does not have much agility on it, so the gain from agility to BP is very low. For block rating, the shield mastery block rating that I'll get here once imbued. Let's go ahead and imbue this legacy so you can see the full numbers. The shield mastery block rating that I get from this is probably one of the most convenient legacies, because shield mastery is already quite strong as it is, but once you imbue it, it becomes a lot stronger. As you can see, it's 6,300 on top of what we have right now, 3.5. Well, actually, that's factored in. Let me imbue my javelin. Yep, I totally ruined the moment there. Apologize. See, it's low, but it's still not leveled up. So once it gets leveled up, it's actually crazy high, partnered with the Persevere one that I'll get. Fist Gambit evade rating. This actually applies to all of your Fist Gambit skills that give you evade rating. That's Warcry, Brink of Victory, and Surety of Death. So basically you get 6,300 on all of those on top of what you already have. So evade rating is gonna be stupidly high. On my javelin, I have the Shield Gambit Light and Healing. This is very handy when tanking stuff like Gloom of Nern and Silent Street, where you can basically tell your fellowship, you guys, go ahead, I got this, and you can out-heal the boss by yourself, plus the glooms that spawn. Also quite handy for the tanking the Mumax. Well, people call it kiting, I call it tanking, because this is where you just stand there and basically out-heal everything in the field. Heal bonus for Conviction. These two we've already gone over, and I will add another legacy of Might on top of this for the extra block rating, parry rating, and physical mastery. My javelin has literally no relics, crafted or otherwise, on it. It still needs a lot of work. but I'm all out of marks, so I will need to get much richer in the mark department, medallion department, to barter the relics that I want from the skirmish camp. And also I need to do some work on my jewelry. I honestly am quite dumbfounded as to why I chose jeweler on my warden when I made it, but it already has started working on the guild slightly, so I will I will let it be as it is. So that's it for today, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know what would you do differently. What would you like me to do differently? And hopefully this will be a series that all of us can enjoy. So thank you for watching and see you next time.